Hey folks, welcome back to the Trinity Episcopal Church YouTube Bible study. I'm the Reverend Jimmy Abbott, the priest here at historic Trinity Church on Galveston Island. Today, we're talking about Matthew chapter 16, one of the most hotly contentious passages in the Bible. It starts off pretty well. Jesus is going around with his disciples and he turns to them and says, "Who do the crowd say that I am?" And they respond, some say that you're Elijah or Jeremiah or one of the other prophets. And then Jesus says, "Well, who do you say that I am?" And that's when Peter gives his confession, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God," which is true. Then, and this is really important, so I'm going to read it to you, Jesus responds to Peter. "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." So let's kind of talk through this because the language is sort of strange. Notice how defensive both of these things are. Gates, by their nature, are a defensive mechanism. Keys are a defensive mechanism. And a rock, building a church upon a rock, is not really an offensive weapon. And so this word prevail is sort of odd. Who is attacking who? Who is on the defense against who? You see how the language really begins to break down there. But of course, as I said, this is one of the more hotly contentious passages in the Gospel of Matthew. This is the passage that was especially used by the Roman Catholic Church, especially during the Reformation, to hold up the seat of Peter, the Bishop of Rome, as the one who has been given final ecclesiastical and spiritual authority. I think there's something else going on here, though, that the church is built upon this rock, but it's not the person of Peter, but upon his acclamation that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of the living God. I think that is what the church is founded upon. The church is not founded upon a human, a person, but upon this, our most basic statement of faith, that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of the living God. From that, everything else comes later. And that is the thing that the gates of hell cannot prevail against. That word gates, all throughout the Old Testament, is not literally the gates. The gate could often refer to the sort of seat of government or the seat of judgment for a town or a city. When you go back and you read the Old Testament, you'll notice this, that people are always making decisions at the gates of the city. So it was the sort of public square where everyone would gather and those decisions would be made. And so I think Jesus is saying the gates of hell, the demonic powers, cannot prevail against this statement of faith that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of the living God. One way for us to engage this spiritually is then to think, what is our most basic statement of faith? Now, I would hope it's that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of the living God. But what is your faith built upon? Is there some story, some image, some moment from your life, like this one in Peter's, that gives you the courage to be a witness to Jesus, to be a follower of Jesus? What is that one thing upon which your entire discipleship and spirituality is built? I'd love to hear from you. You can drop a comment in the comment section, or you can send me an email. Would love to hear about where your faith is built upon. Thank you.